here, I'm sorry. Data-driven Detroit has this tool where you can search by zip code, and it has so many economic indicators for every neighborhood, for every zip code. You can take the map and draw an area, and it'll create economic indicators like how many cars every house has, how many people work, like any economic indicator you can think of for every neighborhood in Detroit. And so that's where a lot of our data came from. But anyways, back to this. So, real quick, how many of y'all are using AI regularly? Like, you used it today already? Yesterday? How about? Yeah, it's summer. Okay. How many of you, like, for planning for next year, are using it regularly? Okay. Yeah, love it. So, I believe as a thought partner, this is pretty amazing. Okay. And so, today's students are graduating. I have a son that's 12. I have no clue what the job market's going to look like when he. I don't know what jobs are going to be. And so, we don't know what jobs are going to be. I don't have that answer. I don't know if anybody in here does. But the idea is, with the critical thinking skills and the inquiry that PBL brings in, we have a chance to set him up. And so the idea with AI is AI gives me ideas that I couldn't think of. Like, y'all are going to be out on buses later on today, and you're going to see the city. I live in Hamtramck. I know the city. I know the city. I know a lot of the corners of it, things like that. But the thing is AI is going to give me better ideas, not better than I can come up with, but like different ideas than my perspective is. And so what we're going to do real quick is I'm going to open up ChatGPT, and someone's going to tell me what should we think about for a PBL, just an idea.
You could give an idea if you ponder more.
Okay, but I would love someone to. Anyone thinking of a PBL in their head right now? Anyone got an idea? No. Nobody shot me out.
Can you restate the question, please?
Yeah. If you're pondering creating a PBL for the next school year, what are you thinking about doing?
I'm hoping first graders learn about local history in our community, and the end product is a time capsule that they co-create.
So we'll just do local Detroit history. All right, let's see what we got here. Detroit then and now, our city story, how Detroit changed over time. They'll end with a Detroit Story Museum, give some little standards. Decent, right? Okay. That was right. That's the start. Now, then I would get into some actual standards farther, and I would be maybe don't be as generic. You know what I mean? And move it on, right? Searches here. There we go. And how long did it take to do these?
It probably took me longer to, is this on?
Yeah, it's kind of honest, yeah.
Probably took me longer to copy and paste in the slides than it did actually search. We just wanted to get out there today that maybe you could use in the city of Detroit. I acquired a East Asian study group, and one of the things that my professor at Michigan State mentioned was the Lynch and Chen. And I had never heard, like I was shocked that I'm now, I don't want to say old man, adult, and never heard of this. And I mean, I've lived in Michigan almost my whole life.
Raise your hand if you have heard the Vincent Chin story. Well, you always have.
So this was the one, I just put that in, I put PBL, Vincent Chin, I think I put like 2 other words in, and this is one of the things that it came up with. It came up with a great title, a driving question, and then basically a project overview. Again, 10 seconds probably to look that up. Oh, and then I did do grades. So some of these are for high school, some are for elementary, because I didn't know who we have here today. So I wanted to do a little bit of variety. Did you have a question?
No, I just wanted to one of the places where you can get some really good start ideas to go into your book is the Millennium Project. It gives the biggest global problems or challenges on the planet, and I go from there as my start. and I draw my hook on those.
The Millennium Project,
The Millennium
love
Project.
it.
Thank you for sharing that. Here's another one, Crossing of Freedom, the Detroit River and the Underground Railroad. This was a middle school idea, and then it gave us a driving question about how did the Detroit River help people escape to freedom, and how can we honor their courage today? And it kind of gave us a little project overview. This was black bottom mapping, memory, displacement, and resistance. This was a high school. And then it just said, the question was, how can we use digital mapping to uncover, honor, and preserve the legacy of Detroit's black bottom neighborhood? And then I think this was a and then how do Arab American stories help us understand American identity, and how can we share these stories with our community? In Hampshire, we have a huge Arab American population. So we work very closely with the Arab American National Museum.
Who are right out there if you're needing to talk to anyone about, you know, Arab American migration and Arab American civil rights and things like that. This is Wayne County stuff.
So that was just some quick examples.
So again, with ChatGPT or any type of AI, it's a tool that can be used. It helps us get ideas going. Obviously, most of them are really generic, but I had some teachers a couple of days ago designing a PL about zoology, and it was given like actual people's names and numbers of zoologists around here, you know, like stuff that like, would take multiple like Google search time. It just speeds it up. So what we're going to do now, and we don't have a lot of time to fill out this whole organizer, but we're going to have an organizer. We're going to skip around it a little bit. But the idea here is you're going to map out some ideas for the next, whatever time it is, I didn't even learn to watch today. And I'll explain that once Jill is passing these out. I'm sorry, I'm struggling with the microphone. I'm just not, but
You don't,
that's why I'm struggling with it. So.
yeah, you don't need to hear.
Yeah.
You can all hear you well.
Okay, beautiful. All right. Passing these out, the first two things we're going to look at, you start with standards, but I don't want y'all spending time looking up standards right now. We really don't have the time for that. But whenever I'm actually searching in ChatGPT or whenever I'm actually designing a PBL, I use standards. We need to teach the standards anyway, and it's a good guide. At the top of this organizer is going to have standards. You might be able to look your standards up. If you're a super teacher and you've got your standards memorized, you could write all that down. But we're not going to start there. What we're going to start with, though, is the question and the entry. Okay? So, with a PBL, they're solving a problem, they're solving a challenge. The idea, you got some question that's driving their learning. Also, at that same time, you need the hook to get them going. So again, with my How Are Some Neighborhoods in Detroit Rich, while I was poor, my entry event was right here. They just knew we were taking a walk. That's how I started the project out. So what we're going to do, for the next 10 minutes, skip the standards along unless you know them. I want you to brainstorm and start thinking about some driving questions, and then start thinking about an entry event. And what I really want you to do, when you get on those buses today, is think about how, where you're going today, could lend itself to an entry event for a project that you're thinking about implementing, okay? Because the idea, the way I view it, in place-based learning, I want my kids out in the city. So we're gonna go 10 minutes on this, and then we'll share out and see where we go. Questions? And again, I'm using my organizer. We're not filling all this out today. Oh, we're good. The standards part is what it is.
Some questions are totally maybe like, in some neighborhoods with some importance that
Oakland Schools was the curriculum we followed. Oakland Schools, their last unit, sixth grade social studies, is why some countries read rather than core. For me to be able to do it without my admin bugging me, I boiled it down to why, the next year we changed the wording. Some people like the wording. I believe in the wording, like Rich before, and what does that even mean? And we had a lot of conversation about that too. And then we went into how can we design it out there.
And so was that the hook?
The hook was
Why are some written some
the hook is
just the experience?
huh?
Is the hook the experience?
It's the entry. It's how you launch your project.
Got it.
Hey, I got a question for you. Is this available on a PDF? If I give it my email?
Yeah, he can send it to you.
Awesome. Cool. Appreciate you.
And that's PDL, is where that comes from.
Do you got another copy of this?
Yeah.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Right there.
Yes, they do have a lot of really good, that era, the 1800s, with, yeah, period.
I gave him.
I think it's not, yes, yeah.
Did you want a digital copy? Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. You got, yeah, let's do that right now. I'm gonna just send you something so I remember, and then I'm gonna ask you to send it again.
Teacher, TEACHER, M96
Right there?
Yep.
And I'm just gonna say Jeremy Hine, I'm gonna email you, and then just send me one back and remind me. And so most of this is just from PBL Works. I've kind of just changed it around a little bit. Language-wise, I think it works better, so.
I love it.
And then you got, the whole backside, so.
Thank you so much, man.
So when you get a second, just email us, say, hey, Myles, send me a copy.
I will. I'll send it.
Love it.
Thank you so much, brother. Powerful.
Yeah, thank you.
Our research, well, the point is that each project is supposed to get us to do some kind of work. And so we have a bunch of historians doing research now. We're going into year 3, and so we're thinking more about how do we develop that community and get this I'm trying to think about what we're doing in our classes.
So maybe get the others to show us some
And I was like,
all right, y'all. Let's take a break for a second. First, shout out everyone that's really rocking here. I love the conversation. Can I get a couple of people just to share out on an idea you had for a driving question or an idea you had for an entry event? Remember, this is how you're going to launch your project. Yes.
Third grade, our standard is use informational text and visual data to compare how Indigenous people and non-Indigenous people in the early history of Michigan interacted with, adapt to, use, or modify the environment of Michigan. So our driving question was, what was special about Michigan for people to want to migrate here? And then we started going to, our entry point would be like, to them, what do you think is special about Michigan right now that you love living in the state, or where do you go on vacations in Michigan, what's special about our state?
Right.
So, just,
Okay.
that's what we got so far.
Yeah, so what would be the pull factor to bring?
Well, yes,
Yeah, I love it,
yeah,
love it.
pull
All
factor.
right. Love that. Step back here. Yes.
So, looking at my case study and what I was going to be doing is Black Bottom. So overall, thinking about the legacy of urban renewal projects, and using Black Bottom as the case study. For Garden City, it is a 2 square mile area, right? So having the kids close their eyes, picturing their neighborhoods, their community, places that they shop, work, play. All of a sudden, reading the bulletin of this urban renewal plan that their community is going to be destroyed, they're going to be displaced, and then the placement of it is going to be a freeway.
Okay.
Also having them look at the visual of the before and after, and getting kids to talk, engaging in the action. There is that kind of entryway.
Yeah, love it. You could even have AI create you the news article, but that's great. One more entry event, driving question we came up with? Yes.
Mine was very similar, you stole my thunder. But, to piggyback on that, they're gonna be doing like a redesign of 375. So my entry question would be, how would we reimagine this neighborhood? Because they're gonna have like 30, 80 acres of land. So what would we do as reparations, or how could we rebuild or do something in the community that was destroyed?
Love it. Sadly, they paused that this morning. But it's just on pause, but yeah.
But yeah.
I love the idea though, it's still,
I might come into the class with a helmet on, I'm from the future, and this is what it looks like now, and I show them some dystopian picture. I might say, hey, this is where you are now. What type of multiverses could we affect
yeah.
to make sure we either get there or miss it? And let them say, go from there.
And I love it,
Get their
miss
question.
there or get there, because maybe they don't want to get there.
Absolutely.
Right? No, it's
Are
great.
you elementary?
No, I'm not. I was middle school for 18
Just
years, but I'm
because-
high school now.
Oh, just because the whole dress like that's so like elementary teachers.
Yes, they do.
I had a community college professor that would dress up all the time.
yes.
Maybe we should just change this to how can we dress up for our students instead? We got 20 minutes left. No, anyway.
They'll look at you like you're
So,
different.
I'm not a dress upper, like, but I love the idea of it, and the idea of like, we can go dystopian or we can go to utopian, and you get to choose, great. All right, we're gonna work a little more here, thank you so much, by the way, okay? So now we're gonna look at, trying to get some experts into our classroom, and there's a lot of ways you can do this. It could be as hard as like banging on doors, or you can just talk to your teaching partner down the hall, or your uncle, or whatever. Or if you're lower L, you can bring some upper L kids in. There's lots of ways to get experts and community partners into our classroom. And then we're gonna start thinking about our place-based learning part. Like what field trips, where are we going? Past the entry event, where are we gonna go? And so we're gonna go 10 more minutes on this, okay?
This is the part where it takes a lot of time, phone
Yeah.
calls, and planning.
The-
All of us get a whole day to do it.
The bravery to take your kids out. This is just a community center in the Northwest Goldberg area that I had access to, and I had class in there. I'm not saying you need to do this, but like something, how are you getting your kids out? Okay? Love it, by the way, thank you.
This was about the dystopia.
Well, we
Sorry,
started,
you're doing that again.
you know, we took second graders, did the project based thing.
Oh, usually, yeah.
But,
We create a wide for speakers, for text.
So,
The trust and mercy.
Bring some back in.
One of my colleagues, that's church. I think that's a great thing.
With sixth grade. Yeah, it should be that way. So you'll have. Best thing, Alright, y'all, thank you so much. Can I get a couple of us to get all our brains thinking, what were some ideas for some experts or some for field studies, field trip type parks? So what would be some ideas for some experts that we came up with? Yes.
So I'm centering mine, I'm using my African American Studies course, and I'm getting ready to do the Detroit River field trip, so I'm so excited. And so like a lot of mine whether it's going to some of these sites, the Second Baptist Church, that Underground River, is probably one of my favorite things I've ever visited. So whether it's going there or seeing if I can pull some of these museum curators, whether I'm finding local activists or local historians into the class. Yeah, I've been really vibing the past 2 days. So it's just pulling from those different places and whether they come into the room, whether I can get my kids out there. That's kind of where I am with the field study piece of it.
Love it.
Did you know that Detroit has an official historian? His name is Jamon. He was
I
actually here yesterday.
Is he here too?
Yeah, he should be here today. Yeah, and he actually does a tour even for the Underground Railroad and stuff like that. So he's a great resource.
Okay,
Yeah,
beautiful,
great.
wrote him down, thank you so much.
Love it. Somebody else with some experts or some place-based field studies they've thought about?
So picking up on where I had mine, taking a trip to like the Avenue of Fashion. So seeing that, how tight-knit that community around that is, the small business community there, and then going to like Lafayette Park where 375 is and seeing that compare and contrast of like, this is kind of what it was versus how it is now, right?
Right.
And even going into the shops too, the owners are there, right? Being able to talk to them about how they're networking, how they're trying to promote and build up the community.
Take it a step further, the kids could interview the shop owners. What happens if we decided we're running a highway down Livernois Avenue right now? What would you do? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Love it. Anybody else? All right. Thank y'all. Obviously, with the PBL, and I've fallen short on my public products. I'm only a 6th grade teacher at the time, but we need some type of public product. We need some type of a showcase. And then you have timeline and checkpoints, and your lessons would come in and things like that. Obviously, we got 5 minutes left. We're not going to think about all that. But with the PBL, it starts with a standard, and it goes all the way to a showcase. And there's a driving question, and some type of an entry event, and some type of field study, and some type of experts coming in. And they're producing something, and then you need student voice and choice throughout the whole thing, and some revision and critique. Okay? Yes, sir.
As a suggestion, when you get to this part, tell the AI to use multiple intelligences to come up with ideas that could be your product. And your students love it. And if you do a survey to get the students multiple intelligences, they'll know what really excites them to help them learn this, that, and the other. So when they do their products and you give them that list, they're gonna run.
And I didn't touch on this student voice and choice. If you're doing a gold standard PBL, is a huge part of it. Okay.
Which we know is really hard with the little ones.
Yeah.
That's what we gotta really work on when we have little ones. High school's a little easier, but.
All right, awesome. So we got time, we got 5 minutes. I don't know if there's any questions. We've had lots of comments. Okay. If you want to get a hold of us, here's Jill's, here's mine. Again, what I want you to walk out of here with, the organizer's cool and all that stuff. How can I bring the city of Detroit into my classroom? How can I bring my classroom out to the city of Detroit? That is literally, there's so much more than that, but like when you boil it down, that's what we're doing here. And textbooks, AI, blah, 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 PowerPoints, all that stuff. How can I get my kids out there, and how can I get out there into my classroom? It doesn't even have to be regardless of whatever, just how can I get my kids out of the classroom? So that's really what I think about when I think about this. There's way more to it than that, but that is like what matters to me most, at least in my area. So thank you so much. could say video that a DOS kid made like 12 years ago, for money. Yeah. It's amazing. It's just, yeah, the DOS, like there's, maybe that requires that or whatever. Sorry, but Ford came and gave a bunch of money. And so it's like a professionally produced rap song by like 12, it's amazing. About Detroit.
What? I didn't go to the session though, so but technically, you can ask me about it.
You watched it? Oh, you know what, I got you. I got you, we'll walk out.
I know, yeah, that's.
Well, you were really trying to get out.
And you come there.
It was just kind of. It was just.
I really wanted to hold on.
It was the Southwestern.
Yeah.
No, I turned it off.
A lot.